Stop right now wherever you are and listen to me. Whatever is pressing against your mind must be put down immediately. I am not asking you to pause because your situation is ordinary or simple. I am asking you to stop because you are closer to a wrong turn than you realize and the enemy wants you blind. This moment did not find you by accident. It is a divine appointment that you cannot afford to scroll past today. The enemy truly wants you highly distracted today. He wants your eyes darting from one meaningless thing to another. He knows that if he can keep your mind fractured, you will miss the exact frequency of my voice. But I have interrupted your timeline to pull you out of that dangerous drift. You absolutely have to see this right now. Your spiritual survival in this new season completely depends on it. My beloved child, you have been wandering through a heavy fog lately. You feel tired and your shoulders are very tight. The unseen weight you carry is very real. And every morning when you wake up, the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You are standing at a massive crossroad, but the enemy has thrown a blanket of confusion over your sight. He is terrified of the decision you are about to make. He is fighting you so hard because you are on the verge of breaking a cycle. This is a dark cycle that has plagued your bloodline for many generations. That is exactly why the exhaustion feels so deeply personal to you. It is not just physical fatigue, but a targeted spiritual attack designed to make you surrender your beautiful crown. Do not let him win this silent battle. Breathe deep and quiet your mind right now. Say this softly in your heart to seal your focus today. Father, I am closely listening to your voice. I need your full attention because something serious is entering your life today. Do not walk away from this message now. You risk walking right back into the exact snare I am trying to save you from. Keep this close and guard this precious time. This is a rare moment meant only for the chosen. Do not let the loud noise of your day pull you away from my gentle presence. I have a specific instruction for you, but I must prepare your heart first. Listen until my final words. The very last revelation I share today is the key. It will unlock the door you have been knocking on for years. You have been praying for a major shift. You have cried out for a clear sign in the midnight hours when everyone else was fast asleep. I truly heard every single one of your desperate pleas. The silence you walked through was not a cruel abandonment. It was the precise time needed to align the pieces of your breakthrough in the unseen realm. The enemy wants you to believe I forgot you, but he is a terrible liar. Pause right here and read my words carefully. Bring your wandering thoughts directly back to my voice. Feel the calm rhythm of your breath and know that I am near. The heavy, unsettling feeling you have had in your spirit over the last few days is not random anxiety. You have been feeling a massive shift in the spiritual atmosphere. It is a quiet unrest that signals something glorious is about to happen. You have officially entered a holy window of time. The complete trajectory of your next decade is being established in this exact hour. The petty arguments and the sudden financial stress are just empty illusions. They are cheap tricks designed to steal your precious attention away from this divine window. You must ignore the dark shadows and focus solely on the bright light I am providing right now. Please do not rush past this sacred moment. The noisy world will always tell you to hurry. The world will tell you that there is no time to sit still and listen to the Holy Spirit. But the fragile world does not hold the eternal keys to your destiny. I hold them safely in my own hands, and I am trying to hand them to you today if you will simply stay here and listen. Your obedience in this small moment is the trigger for your miracle, so please remain right here with me today. Let your tired spirit settle for a moment because what I am about to reveal changes absolutely everything. We are going to look closely at what you have been carrying in the dark. Stay with me through every single word because your deliverance is already in motion. I saw the tears you cried in the secret hours of the night. You felt entirely alone while everyone else was sleeping. I watched you put on a brave smile the next morning to take care of everyone around you. You thought nobody noticed your silent struggle, but I noticed every single second of it. I see the heavy burden you carry for others. You are a beautiful and weary warrior. You have been carrying the emotional weight of everyone in your life. You falsely believed it was your holy duty to fix what is broken in them. You give and give until your own spirit is completely depleted. The world sees your immense strength, But I see the quiet exhaustion that takes over when the door closes. When you are finally alone, the heavy walls come down. The sudden tears fall fast and you do not even know why you are crying. You are weeping because your beautiful soul is carrying too much pain. You absorb the deep sorrows of the people around you like a sponge. It is a heavy cross to bear. You are highly misunderstood by many. They take your endless kindness for granted. They mistake your sweet loyalty for weakness, and they use it against you. I watched those painful betrayals break something very deep inside your trusting heart. I saw the people you trusted most become the direct source of your deepest wounds. Yet you quietly chose to carry that sharp pain without seeking revenge. You completely refused to become a bitter person. The blind world saw your silence, but heaven saw your pure worship. I know you have been asking me why the painful cuts had to go so deep. You wonder why the people you love always seem to abandon you when you need them most. It feels incredibly unfair, and your tired heart is bleeding from tiny cuts. Breathe deep, my precious one. Bring your wandering thoughts directly back to my voice. I want to speak directly to the silent ache you hide behind your bright smile. Do not brush off the warm tears forming in your tired eyes right now. That is my comforting presence physically touching your broken heart. I am wrapping my strong arms around you. You are completely safe here with me. You do not have to pretend to be strong in this holy room. You are allowed to feel weak and you are allowed to fall apart. I will carefully catch every single piece of your shattered heart. Leave a heart in the comments below as a silent but powerful act of surrender today. Let that simple action be your release. You have been wondering why your financial situation dries up just when you get ahead. You work harder than anyone else, but the provision slips through your fingers like sand. You look at your empty hands and quietly blame yourself. You think you did something terrible to deserve this endless struggle, but you have done absolutely nothing wrong. Stop beating yourself up right now. The constant self-blame is a heavy chain that you were never meant to wear. You are punishing yourself for a violent storm you did not even create. I see you calculating the bills late at night with a heavy knot in your stomach. I feel the cold panic that grips your chest when you look at your shrinking bank account. I know how hard you try to hide the deep financial panic from your loved ones. You want to provide for them and give them a beautiful life, but every time you take one step forward, you are violently pushed 3 steps back. It is incredibly frustrating and it drains your daily hope. You feel like a massive failure, but that is a dirty lie. Listen closely to me, because this is very vital. You are an incredibly rare soul. It is not a strange defect in your wiring that makes you feel things so deeply. It is the specific tuning I gave to your spirit so you could receive what other spirits miss. You are highly sensitive, because you are a chosen vessel. You were designed to carry my pure light. Because you carry this brilliant light, the dark shadows are naturally drawn to you. They try to suffocate your joy because they despise your divine calling. You are a generational cycle breaker for your entire family tree. You are fighting ancient battles that were passed down to you through your bloodline. That is why the daily exhaustion feels so heavy. Pause right here and rest your weary mind. Take a deep and slow breath for me. If you feel a sudden warmth in your chest, do not ignore it. Let my divine peace wash over your anxious thoughts right now. I am physically removing the heavy yoke of anxiety from your fragile body. You have been fighting alone for way too long. It is finally time to rest. I watched you sit in the quiet dark and ask if I was still there. You whispered into the cold silence and felt completely abandoned by heaven. You thought your endless prayers were just hitting the ceiling and bouncing back down. The deafening silence made you doubt your own spiritual sanity. I know the waiting season has nearly destroyed your hopeful spirit. But let us go much deeper into this mystery. The confusing silence you experienced was not a harsh punishment. It was a divine preparation for the massive blessing coming your way. I had to quiet the loud noises so you could finally learn to hear my gentle whisper. I had to pull you away from the toxic crowds. I was actively protecting your soft heart. I know you looked at the barren wilderness and saw only a painful loss. You saw the closed doors and thought I was angrily rejecting your dreams. But you were absolutely not being rejected. You were being redirected away from a dangerous cliff you could not see. I am always guarding your fragile steps, even when it completely breaks your heart in the short term. Do not let your mind wander right now. Stay perfectly still because the heavy veil is lifting. The exact cause of your painful financial block is what we will dismantle very soon. You have wondered why the enemy fought your progress with such a vicious anger. It is not a simple string of bad timing or poor planning on your earthly part. There is a massive secret hiding in the unseen realm. There is a generational seal operating in the dark and trying to steal your joy. Before I show you the incredible breakthrough, you must first understand the weapon that was formed against you. Stay closely with me here. The reason the enemy fought you so terribly hard is about to be completely revealed. Now hear me on this and hear it clearly. The enemy has relentlessly lied to you about your season of waiting. You look at your extreme exhaustion and you label it as a massive failure. While you think you are falling apart because you are not strong enough, you are actually misreading the divine signs. You are looking at a spiritual battle through physical eyes. I want you to stop seeing your past through the eyes of fear. You must start seeing your journey through my divine perspective right now. The extreme fatigue you feel in your bones is not a normal human tiredness. It is the direct result of a violent collision in the unseen realm. Dark forces are fighting for your precious destiny. The enemy wants to keep you completely grounded. He did not come against you because you were incredibly weak. He came against you because you are exceptionally powerful. The dark forces saw the generational blessing that you are about to unlock. They looked at your beautiful destiny, and they were absolutely terrified of your bright light. So they sent petty distractions and sudden financial ruin to drain your holy energy before you could finally win. They want you so worried about paying earthly bills that you forget your heavenly authority. They want you crying over broken relationships so you cannot hear my marching orders. The enemy knows that a distracted warrior is a defeated warrior. And that is exactly why your mind constantly races with anxious thoughts right before you try to pray or seek my face. It is a calculated spiritual block. Breathe deeply right now and release that false guilt. Bring your thoughts back to me because you need to understand this truth. The delays in your life were never my angry abandonment. They were just evidence of a fierce spiritual warfare happening right above your head. While you felt completely ignored by heaven, you were actually walking through the heavy crossfire of a battle you could not even see. You are not broken, my beautiful child. You are simply being remade in the powerful heat of my love, and the wise Creator who is actively remaking you absolutely does not make mistakes. I know you look at the fiery trials and wonder if you are being punished for past sins. You think past mistakes are finally catching up to you, but that is a foolish and toxic earthly concept. There is no dark law of payback operating in my holy kingdom. There is only the refiner's fire and the glorious grace of your Father. I do not send painful punishments to crush my chosen ones. I send the refining fire to burn away the toxic connections that would have ultimately destroyed your future if they remained. The blazing heat is meant to purify your golden spirit for the massive assignment ahead. Think about the people who suddenly walked away from your life recently. It completely shattered your trusting heart when they turned their backs on you. You thought you did something terribly wrong to push them away. But let us go much deeper into this painful mystery right now. The painful separation you experienced was actually my divine hand of ultimate protection saving you from a terrible disaster. I had to forcefully remove those individuals from your daily path. Their spirits were secretly anchored to the toxic energy of the enemy. If I had let them stay, they would have permanently anchored your bright soul to their rapidly sinking ships. I am actively pruning your branches so you can finally bear the magnificent fruit you were destined to grow. The pruning always hurts, but it saves the tree. Do not let your mind wander away from these healing words. Stay fully present because the enemy is trying to distract you right now. He hates that you are finally learning the deep truth about your painful struggles. He wants you to stay in the dark prison of self-pity forever. But you are a mighty warrior, and you are boldly stepping out of that cold prison today. You have wondered why your financial harvest dries up just when you feel hopeful. It is completely tied to this exact spiritual battle. The enemy uses the deep fear of lack to keep your mind locked in a very low frequency. He wants you constantly worrying about earthly survival so you never claim your heavenly inheritance. But his dirty tricks are finally being exposed to the brilliant light today. Pause for a second and notice the heavy tension in your jaw. Drop your shoulders and let my warm peace flow through your nervous system. If you feel a sudden lightness in the room, do not treat it as something ordinary. The Holy Spirit is actively stirring sealed-off layers of your beautiful soul while you sit here and listen to my gentle voice. I am completely rewiring your spiritual vision. You must clearly understand that the heavy resistance always comes right before the magnificent breakthrough. The enemy fights the hardest when he knows his dark time is completely up. The intense pressure you have felt over the last 3 months is a very powerful prophetic sign. It absolutely proves that you are dangerously close to stepping over the finish line. He is in a pure panic. He is throwing everything he has at you to make you turn around and quit. But you are absolutely never going to quit, my precious child. You are going to stand firm and watch the glorious salvation of heaven unfold before your very eyes. I am actively transforming your deep exhaustion into a fierce and holy strength. You are finally trading your heavy ashes for a brilliant crown of beauty. Listen to my voice as this teaching approaches its next turn. Prepare your open heart for what I will reveal to you very shortly. The following truth will take you much deeper into understanding how the heavy fog connects to your true destiny. We are going to specifically name the unseen saboteur that has been silently stealing your financial peace for so many difficult years. You must not let the noise of your busy day pull you away now. Stay with me because you are infinitely closer to the answer than you think. The enemy is desperately hoping you close this message before the final veil is lifted. But you are my chosen vessel, and your spirit is incredibly hungry for the ultimate truth. Your beautiful deliverance is standing right outside your front door. You have carried a massive burden for far too long without understanding the true source. You believed the heavy resistance in your life was just normal bad circumstances. You thought your endless struggles were simply a natural part of human existence. But I am lifting the dark veil right now to show you the shocking truth. While you blamed yourself for every failure, a deeply sinister force was actively working in the shadows to steal your beautiful crown. This invisible enemy did not launch a targeted attack on your finances because you are weak. He absolutely did not drain your physical energy because you are a helpless victim. Hear me clearly on this profound mystery today. The dark forces came against you with such intense fury because they are absolutely terrified of your raw spiritual potential. They look at your glowing spirit and they tremble in absolute fear. You are completely blind to your own massive strength, but the enemy sees it very clearly. He knows that you are the specific vessel chosen to break the ancient chains. You carry the exact frequency needed to shatter the generational seal of poverty in your bloodline. If he allows you to step into your full divine authority, his dark kingdom will lose its tight grip on your entire family tree forever. That is the precise reason why he creates so much endless chaos in your daily routine. He throws petty arguments and sudden financial emergencies into your path to keep you distracted. He knows that a distracted warrior cannot clearly hear the marching orders from heaven, so he fills your busy mind with loud anxieties about tomorrow to drown out my gentle whispers today, because he wants you surviving instead of thriving. You must immediately stop blaming yourself for the constant delays and the closed doors. The enemy desperately wants you to believe that your current lack is a direct result of your own earthly failures and poor choices. He whispers terrible lies into your mind late at night when you are most vulnerable. He tells you that you are not smart enough or talented enough to receive my blessings. But those are purely demonic lies. I completely reject every lie the shadow has spoken over your precious destiny. You are not a failure, and your journey has absolutely not been a waste of time. The vicious attacks on your peace only prove the immense value of the treasure buried inside you. A common thief never bothers to break into an empty house. The enemy is only attacking your mind for one reason. Your spiritual house is overflowing with brilliant divine gold. Pause right here and read my words carefully. Bring your thoughts directly back to my voice if they have drifted. Take a slow breath and feel the heavy tension leaving your tight shoulders right now. If your heart is beating a little faster, it is because your spirit recognizes the absolute truth of my words. The Holy Spirit is actively breaking the invisible chains of confusion while you simply sit here and listen. The unseen saboteur has hidden in the dark corners of your life for many difficult years. He orchestrated the painful betrayals you suffered, and he manipulated the people who suddenly walked away. He used the people you trusted most to inflict deep wounds on your sensitive soul. He wanted to make you so incredibly bitter that you would permanently close your beautiful heart to my healing grace. But his wicked plan completely failed. You refused to let the toxic bitterness take root in your gentle spirit. You cried endless tears, but you still chose to forgive the people who deeply hurt you. That incredible act of pure forgiveness was a massive blow to the Dark Kingdom. When you chose love over revenge, you absolutely shattered the legal rights of the enemy over your mind. He has no real power over you anymore. He only has the power of a cheap illusion. Because he could not destroy your pure heart, he shifted his vicious attack to your earthly finances. He wants to keep you locked in a permanent state of survival and desperate panic. When you are constantly worried about paying basic bills, you cannot focus on your higher calling. The spirit of lack is a dark weapon, forged specifically to keep my chosen warriors chained to the dirt. But that rusty chain is breaking today. I clearly see how hard you work just to barely keep your head above the rising water. I watch you give your absolute best effort only to see the promised reward suddenly vanish. It leaves you feeling like you are endlessly running on a heavy treadmill that goes nowhere. But the exhausting treadmill you have been running on is an artificial trap created by the enemy. It is not my holy design for your beautiful life. The intense pressure you feel is not the crushing weight of a permanent defeat. It is the fierce resistance of a dark kingdom that knows its reign of terror is rapidly coming to an end. The enemy always fights the hardest when you are standing right on the sacred edge of your promised land. The fact that the financial attacks have grown so severe recently is your greatest prophetic sign. Your massive breakthrough is incredibly close. Do not let your mind wander away from this profound revelation today. Breathe deep and focus your spiritual eyes on the invisible truth I am showing you. The heavy fog of confusion was sent to completely blind you, but my glorious light is piercing right through it. You can finally see the hidden battlefield for what it truly is. And once you clearly see the hidden enemy, he immediately loses his dark advantage over your daily life. You are no longer a blind victim wandering aimlessly through a cruel and random world. You are a fully awakened warrior stepping directly into your rightful position of heavenly authority. But you must completely understand why the heavens seemed so quiet while you fought this brutal war. The unseen enemy tried to convince you that my prolonged silence meant I had angrily turned my back on you. He whispered that you were completely forgotten and left to fight the vicious wolves all by yourself. That was his most desperate and toxic lie. The holy silence of heaven is absolutely never a sign of divine absence. I am going to show you exactly what I was building in the dark while you wept. Stay closely with me here. The next few words will unlock a massive mystery. You cried out to heaven and heard absolutely nothing in return. The heavy silence made you question your entire faith. You wondered if I was angry with you for some hidden mistake. You thought the empty quiet meant you were completely abandoned in the dark. But my precious child, you have totally misunderstood the profound nature of my silence. When a master craftsman is working on his greatest masterpiece, he does not speak. He is completely silent because his intense focus requires absolute quiet. I was not ignoring your desperate prayers during those painful nights. I was actively working deep in the unseen realm to rearrange the heavy pieces of your massive destiny. If I had answered your prayers when you first asked, the blessing would have crushed you. Your beautiful spirit was not fully ready to carry the immense weight of the crown. I had to put you through the refiner's fire to purify your golden heart. The blazing heat burned away the toxic impatience and the deep fear of earthly lack. A tiny seed must be buried in the cold dirt before it can ever grow. It sits in total darkness and feels completely suffocated by the heavy soil. The seed thinks it has been buried alive to slowly die alone, but it has actually been planted in the exact environment needed for a miraculous breakthrough. You were never buried, my child. You were planted. The profound silence was a necessary shield against premature exposure. If I had opened the massive doors too early, the enemy would have stolen your harvest. I kept you hidden in the quiet shadows so you could grow strong without being attacked from every side. Your hidden season was a beautiful sanctuary of divine protection and not a cold prison. Pause right here and take a very slow breath. Let the heavy tension melt away from your tired neck. If you feel a gentle warmth spreading through your chest right now, that is my spirit confirming this deep truth. The long season of divine preparation is finally coming to a beautiful end. The silent waiting room is rapidly closing today. The enemy desperately used my holy silence to torture your weary mind. He whispered cruel lies, telling you that your heavy cross would never be lifted. He wanted you to simply give up right before the massive door swung open. Because he knows what happens when a chosen warrior survives the intense fire. A purified warrior becomes completely unstoppable. I watched you endure the brutal silence with a quietly bleeding heart. You did not walk away from me even when you had every reason to doubt. You kept serving others, and you kept loving people who deeply hurt you. The blind world saw a tired victim, but heaven saw a faithful heir passing the hardest test. You have passed the ultimate test of faith. You have proven that your deep love for me is not based on quick blessings. You love me in the barren valley just as much as you do on the mountaintop. That pure devotion is the exact frequency required to unlock the ancient generational wealth. The heavy gates of heaven only respond to a heart that has been fully tested in the quiet fire. Your weary soul has absorbed enough pain for one lifetime. The bitter tears you cried in secret have been collected in a holy jar. I am actively turning every single tear into a powerful seed of financial and spiritual abundance. The people who mocked your silent struggles are about to witness a magnificent miracle they cannot explain. The heavy curtain between the unseen realm and your physical world is tearing right now. I am not simply going to restore what the dark shadows stole from you. I am preparing a supernatural multiplication that will absolutely shock your earthly enemies. The silent treatment is officially over, and my powerful voice is thundering into your situation. Do not let your mind wander for even 1 second right now. The enemy is in a pure panic because he knows what I am about to declare. The heavy chains that held your bloodline in poverty are trembling under the weight of my glory. Listen very closely to my next words. The season of your breaking is completely over, and the divine shift is here. The season of your breaking is officially over. The heavy page is turning right now in the unseen realm. I am standing up from my holy throne to render a final verdict over your life today. The dark forces that have ruthlessly tormented your mind are hearing this decree. They are trembling in absolute terror because my righteous anger has been fully ignited against their wicked plans. For years, they treated you like a forgotten victim. They threw heavy chains around your ankles and completely drained your financial harvest. They whispered that your bloodline was permanently cursed to wander in the barren desert forever. But I say their wicked reign ends in this exact second. I am the supreme judge of heaven and earth, and my final verdict is absolute freedom for you. Hear the massive sound of shattering glass in the spiritual realm. The ancient generational seal that held your family tree in deep poverty is breaking right now. The thick iron gates that blocked your earthly provision are being blown wide open by my holy wind. The vicious enemy is desperately trying to hold the broken pieces together, but he is entirely powerless against my massive glory. You are not a helpless victim of circumstance anymore. You are a royal heir stepping directly into your massive inheritance today. Every single dollar that was unfairly stolen from you is being returned with a supernatural interest. The dark spirit of lack is completely losing its grip on your bank account and your mind. I am actively restoring the precious years that the locusts have eaten. Pause right here and plant your feet firmly on the ground. Take a very deep breath and push your shoulders completely back. Do not shrink down in fear because you wear a heavy crown of victory today. If you feel a sudden surge of heat traveling down your spine, it is the absolute confirmation of my power. The heavy yoke is physically melting off your tired neck in this beautiful moment. I am actively preparing a beautiful table of vindication for you. I am setting it up right in the middle of your worst enemies. The people who quietly laughed at your painful struggles are going to watch my favor overflow in your life. They thought your silent waiting meant you were foolishly praying to an empty sky, but they are about to see the magnificent reward of your pure faith. You absorbed so much toxic pain without ever seeking revenge. You stayed quiet when you had every earthly right to scream. Because you allowed me to be your ultimate defender, I am stepping forward to clear your lovely name. The heavy clouds of misunderstanding are being permanently swept away by my hand. The entire world will finally see the brilliant gold I have been refining inside you. The vicious storm is entirely over, my precious child. The dark clouds are breaking and the warm sun is finally shining on your face. You have survived the absolute worst of the spiritual warfare, and you are still standing tall. You did not let the bitter poison ruin your gentle spirit, and because your beautiful heart remained soft, you are now completely qualified to carry my greatest blessing. I am completely rewriting the financial story of your entire family. You are the chosen one who finally breaks the bitter cycle of endless debt. Your children and their children will walk in the beautiful freedom that you fought so hard to secure. The heavy curse of poverty stops with you today. You are the strong bridge that carries your bloodline into a season of massive abundance. Do not look back at the barren wilderness you just escaped. The painful past has absolutely nothing left to offer you anymore. The enemy wants you to look backward so you turn into a pillar of salty regret. But your glorious destiny is calling you entirely forward into the bright light. Keep your spiritual eyes firmly locked on my face while I lead you into the beautiful promised land today. The heavy silence you endured was just the calm before this massive storm of blessing. The empty waiting room is permanently closed. I am releasing a sudden flood of divine provision that will completely overwhelm your earthly senses. You have been asking for a tiny drop of rain to cool your tired tongue. But I am aggressively opening the massive floodgates of heaven right over your head. You must prepare your mind to receive this massive shift. A tiny cup cannot contain a raging ocean of living water. You have been trained by the cruel world to expect the absolute worst in every situation. You constantly brace yourself for the next terrible disaster because deep wounds have wired your brain for fear. But I am completely washing away those toxic wounds of the soul with my holy frequency today. You are no longer a weary survivor fighting for basic scraps. You are a victorious conqueror wearing the heavy armor of my divine favor. The spiritual realm fully recognizes your holy authority, even if your physical eyes cannot see it yet. When you speak my name, the dark shadows immediately scatter in pure terror. You carry the blazing fire of heaven inside your fragile earthly vessel right now. Every closed door that frustrated you was simply a divine redirection. But the massive doors I am opening for you today cannot be shut by any human hand. The powerful connections and the massive opportunities you need are already tracking you down. They are magnetically drawn to the pure light radiating from your faithful spirit. You do not have to exhaust yourself by chasing the blessings anymore. The glorious blessings are aggressively chasing you right now. They will overtake you in the quiet moments when you least expect them. I am bringing sudden financial miracles to completely wipe out the heavy debts that keep you awake at night. The vicious cycle of borrowing and scraping by is permanently broken. You are boldly stepping into a profound season of overflowing earthly provision. Take another slow breath and let this powerful reality sink in. You must consciously give yourself permission to finally be happy. The enemy convinced you that waiting for the next disaster was a safe way to live. But living in constant fear is a terrible insult to my absolute protection over your life. Drop the heavy shield of anxiety right now, because the violent war for your mind is already won. You have fought a magnificent fight in the dark valleys. You boldly wrestled with deep heaviness and you refused to let it win. You fought the heavy spirit of fear when nobody else even knew you were struggling. I saw the massive courage it took just to get out of bed on your darkest days. And heaven is standing up to loudly applaud your incredible endurance in this exact and holy moment today. The dark entities that tried to completely destroy your mind are now firmly bound. I have cast them into the outer darkness where they can never touch your bright spirit again. The heavy fog that made you question your own sanity is permanently lifted. Your mind is being restored to a state of perfect and brilliant clarity. You will finally hear my gentle voice without the noisy static of fear. The massive shift happening right now is completely irreversible. No demon in hell and no toxic person on earth can stop what I have set in motion. Your beautiful name has been permanently written in the holy book of generational victors. You are stepping entirely out of the cruel shadows and into the glorious sunlight of my grace. The bitter season of weeping is officially and forever over today. Rejoice in this magnificent victory, my beautiful and chosen child. The heavy chains are completely shattered on the floor around your feet. The vicious enemy has lost his grip on your financial destiny and your emotional peace. You are perfectly free to walk boldly into the beautiful future I have carefully designed just for you. The magnificent breakthrough you begged for is finally your reality. I do not send you into this brilliant new chapter carrying heavy baggage. The chains are completely shattered, but you are still holding the broken pieces. You are holding them because the painful struggle is all you know. It is finally time to drop the heavy pieces today. The bitter past is officially over. You have a very tight grip on your earthly life right now. You think everything will violently fall apart if you stop worrying. But a closed hand, tightly gripping fear, cannot receive the beautiful harvest I am dropping from heaven today. I am asking you to completely release your tight grip on the illusion of control. I want you to do something very specific for me right now. Wherever you are sitting, I want you to physically open both of your hands. Rest your open palms facing upward on your lap and take a deep breath. This simple physical movement is a massive prophetic act in the unseen realm. It signals to heaven that you are ready. You must mentally place every single heavy burden into my waiting hands. Give me the massive financial debts that keep you awake at night. Hand over the deep anxieties about your family. I am completely capable of carrying the heavy weight that nearly crushed your beautiful spirit while you were fighting alone. You must let it go. Surrendering to me is absolutely not a weak defeat. Absolute surrender is the most powerful action a weary warrior can ever take. When you finally stop fighting the furious waves on your own, I can seamlessly calm the violent storm. You are completely safe in my strong arms. I will never drop your beautiful and trusting heart. The vicious enemy wants to convince you that letting go means you will lose everything. He whispers that you must constantly hustle and scrape just to barely survive in this cold world. But you are absolutely no longer a slave to the dark spirit of lack. You are a royal heir, stepping directly into an overflowing season of endless provision. Do not let this holy window close without marking your beautiful alignment. The spiritual realm is closely watching your physical response right now. I want you to boldly declare your absolute faith in the open comments below. This is not a meaningless gesture, but a public seal of your new covenant. It actively blocks the enemy from returning. Write these exact words as a powerful decree over your beautiful destiny today. I completely surrender my heavy burdens, and I boldly receive my massive breakthrough. When you type those words, you are legally breaking the final string of the generational curse. You are officially telling the dark shadows that they have absolutely no power here. As you release that powerful declaration, a massive wave of peace is rushing into your room. Notice how the heavy fog is completely clearing from your tired mind right now. The constant racing thoughts that tortured you every single night are finally going completely quiet. My Holy Spirit is actively sweeping the dark corners of your earthly temple. You are standing right at the threshold of the most magnificent door. The golden handle is already turned. The bright light is spilling onto your tired feet. All you have to do is drop the heavy bags and step entirely through. I have already prepared the beautiful table on the other side. Everything you prayed for is waiting right there. There is absolutely nothing left for you to figure out on your own. I have perfectly orchestrated every single detail of your massive financial and emotional recovery. Your only holy assignment right now is to deeply rest in my absolute love. Keep your hands open and keep your beautiful heart completely soft. The painful war is truly over, my precious child. My beloved child, the heavy storm has fully passed. A profound and holy peace is settling over your entire house today. You are completely safe now. The dark shadows can never touch your bright spirit again because you are heavily guarded. I am permanently sealing this divine covenant with my eternal love. Walk proudly forward in this beautiful new light. You are the chosen generational cycle breaker for your family. You fought the absolute hardest battles in the complete dark, and you emerged completely victorious against all earthly odds. I am so incredibly proud of your pure and faithful heart. The massive earthly provision I promised is already rushing toward you right now. Do not look back at the broken chains on the floor. In the coming days, you will finally feel a massive difference in your physical body. The heavy fog will never return to cloud your beautiful mind. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you will feel incredibly light and deeply rested. That is the beautiful reality of your absolute freedom, and this is the final key I promised you at the very beginning. Keep your gentle heart open to receive the sudden miracles I am sending. They will absolutely surprise you. You do not have to fight the vicious wolves all by yourself anymore. This sanctuary of peace is always open for your weary soul. If this holy message brought comfort to your heavy heart, please subscribe to our channel today. We run on viewer support only to spread this divine light across the dark world. Share this specific word with someone who is secretly hurting. Your simple act of faith can easily break their heavy chains. For exclusive member-only content, you can scan the QR code on your screen. You can also see the pinned comment below this video to join our holy community. Stay closely connected to this powerful frequency of grace as you walk into your new chapter. I love you with an everlasting and perfect love. Rest well tonight, my beautiful and brave warrior. The magnificent victory is completely yours.